Okay, so I'm just gonna pull it in because I definitely am a little annoyed that I was recording for like 25 minutes and I was saying a lot. I was, but it doesn't matter what I was saying because you can't hear me. I've definitely made that colossal mistake in the past, and this is kind of a reflection of what I was just talking about for 25 minutes preparation. I was talking about Aquarius, how you may feel like you're exhausted, like you're disgusted, like you don't know what to do in this moment. But I was basically saying that you do know what to do, but also how mentally and emotionally and spiritually we have to be in preparation. We have to be prepared. And it's so funny because not that I wasn't prepared, but also being detailed is crucial. And when I say being detailed, it's even those small little minute details. Like you can't lead and your shit is chaotic. You can't lead and things aren't organized. You can't lead people to change without being on point. And that's no shade to myself. Mistakes happen, right? Um, it's also a matter of how you bounce back from those mistakes when they happen. But anyway, I will try my best to replay everything that I was saying. And maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just restate everything that I was saying because I know what I was saying. I can't for verbatim, go back and say everything that you didn't hear while I was on mute. And I kind of had a suspicion. See, that goes back to another thing that I was saying, trusting that inner wisdom, listening to that inner guidance. Like when you feel something is off, or when you hear, hey, do this, check this, don't ignore it. I've done it. I've done it. And even just now, I did it. Something told me maybe my audio is not working because I didn't see the thing moving. But then I was like, no, it's working. Girl, look, it's right. Oh, it wasn't working. But thank you to the person that told me in the chat that it wasn't working because I would have been here for another 30 minutes. I swear. But basically Aquarius, and as I said at the beginning of the other video, doesn't really it doesn't really matter if you're a sun, moon, rising, any of that. Uh you just will have Aquarius heavily aspected in your chart. For those of you who feel like this is going over your head as I'm getting into the messages, it ain't for you. And that's that on that. Um, Aquarius, I was talking about at the beginning of my previous video, some of you guys may be having an existential crisis at this time. Some of you guys may be feeling completely exasperated at this time. Some of you guys may be feeling just disgusted and just like, I don't want to have no parts. I don't want to do nothing. But I was also saying how those of you who've been having visions, dreams, prophecies since you were a kid, I feel that as we all know, us being before our time, those were fragments of the future, right? And you may feel like you don't know what to do or you don't have any more energy left to do anything, or you just may be feeling like, I can't save these people. I don't want to save these people, which I know that's probably not something that you're saying as an Aquarius, because as the humanitarians of the zodiac who also can't stand people, even though we can't stand people, we still will do anything we can to try to move people to sovereignty. Because that's ultimately what we all need, right? And as I was saying in the previous video, A lot of people will not do anything in order to move us forward because they're afraid, right? They're conditioned by the old paradigm. They're conditioned to the belief that if they revolt against the system, which was not built for us, they will perish. They will have nothing. But the argument of, oh, well, how are we going to be able to maintain the cost of living is silly because there is no cost of living in the new reality. This cost of living and all this capitalism is a part of a paradigm built by the patriarchy that we don't have to participate in. We choose it knowing for some of us that we don't have to participate in it because we're too lazy to figure out how to work together. Because ultimately, the thing that is going to change everything for us is collaboration, it's community, it's gathering, it's sharing resources the same way that our ancestors did, is getting back to barter. But a lot of people have been conditioned by this digital world. They've gotten lazy. They don't want to do anything manual. And it doesn't mean that we have to eliminate everything that we love, right, about this digital world. It's just we need to get back to a more practical way of thinking, to a more practical way of living. Because then there is no cost of living, right? At least not in the traditional sense that we've known. So I was talking, Aquarius, about how our greatest strength is our mind, but that also that is our greatest weakness if we don't maintain our connection to the spiritual and the physical. I was talking about the fact that you may think that you can survive without the spirit, but you can't. You have to maintain your spiritual connection just as much as you maintain your physical world, right? They both fuel one another. And the thing that I've realized about what we're experiencing now is a lot of us were already given the prophecy, already given the tools when we came into this world to show up exactly right now at this time. Because for those of us who are Aquarius, we are before our time. You know, they, like I said, they copy us, but only after they laughed at us, only after they've dismissed us, only after they've coined it as crazy or whatever, right? They'll imitate it after that. So the point that I'm making is that if we are the ones that are ahead of the game, if we are ahead of the curve, and the things that we've been given, because a lot of us, I feel, you may think that it's you operating on your own, but I feel a lot of y'all are fueled by ancestral wisdom. I feel you are fueled by spiritual wisdom, by spiritual masters, because you were appointed to be one of the ones, not to save people. You're not here to be a savior, you're here to be a builder. You're here to be a steward. But what does that look like in the grand scheme of things? Only you know. The visions that I got may not be the visions that you got, but the point is that if you've been having the visions and the dreams since you were a kid, you were appointed. They selected you because they knew that you were trustworthy. They knew that you would do the right thing. You're not supposed to look to the old systems. You're not supposed to rely on what they told us. You're not supposed to use any information from their systems at all. You're supposed to use what's within you. It's embedded, it's encoded on your soul. Your DNA is the activation. You may not understand everything that I'm saying, but I guarantee you understand it. So don't try to think about this from a logical perspective. Just listen with your soul. Hear me when I tell you this. Some of y'all came here to change things, and not in a way where you're going out there and you're marching and you're doing all this. You're really supposed to lead the way by choosing a different way, right? Defying the system, right? Being a disruptor, right? And sometimes disruption is quiet. Sometimes disruption doesn't have to be loud at all, but it has to be intentional and it has to be organized. It can't be sporadic, right? You have to have structure. You have to have discipline. You have to be balanced. And I was saying this in the last stream that, again, for 25 minutes I was talking and I was on mute. Some of y'all this year feel that spirit of vindication. You feel like you're finally getting recognized for who you truly are, what you've been contributing, without acknowledgement, without any type of uh, reciprocity. Yeah, but you know, just no acknowledgement. But now you may feel this year, and again, happy solar return for all those whose birthdays pass, or if your birthday's coming up, Aquarius. You may feel like you got vindicated this year. You may feel like something is just different and you can't really quite put your finger on it, but you know that it's like people see you now. They respect you now. But that's how you know you're supposed to be one of the ones that steward. This right here, this ace of pentacle, this ace of swords with this ace of pentacles is so crazy to me, because the way that I see this is, some of y'all, like, your mind was a battlefield, right? Your mind was a battlefield. And this, again, if it's going over your head, it's not for you. But like, you had so much going on up here where it concerns how you think, right? Being a neurodivergent, or as I like to say, an alt thinker, right? Being cognitively diverse. It's like you at some point had it in your mind that maybe there was something wrong with you, because you're not like everybody else and you don't think like everybody else, and the way you see things isn't like everybody else. You're so different. Duh, you have to be different. You are the difference. You are the example. You are the one that they laughed at and then imitated later, because you're the blueprint. And it's like this Eight of Pentacles and this Ace of Swords is like proving that you have clarity now. You've mastered your mind now, because now it's like you realize that all those voices in your head of people saying you're this and you're that, you know, your own parents, your own siblings, your closest friends, the people closest to you, had you doubting yourself for quite some time, until now. Now it's like nobody can't tell you shit. And that's not, again, in an egotistical way. It's just you are so assured of who you are, what you are, and why you are. And for some of you, you don't have proof of, oh, well, I was born to do X, Y, and Z, except for the fact that things have been consistently aligning you on a path where you're not meant to be with everybody else. Some of y'all were separated and isolated for a long time because you're not meant to be with everybody else. You were set apart for a reason. If you were meant to lead, you're not going to be caught up in a web of fucking other regular people. No, you're going to be set apart. You have to be isolated because that's where the discipline happens. That's where you really learn structure. That's where you really truly embody balance. And for some of y'all, it was a matter of finding that balance between the spiritual and the physical, learning how to balance because you like to be in your own otherworldly created space, right? But at the same time, you are having a physical experience. You can't separate the two because they both fuel one another. As above, so below. So below, as above. And now you truly understand that. It's like you've reached this point where you don't need to talk. You're not here to give people play by plays. You're a teacher, but in a sense of you're teaching by leading by example. That's how you teach. You just do it, and then people follow you. Because again, they laughed first, and then they recognize that you're the blueprint, and they're like, shit. I don't want to give Aquarius the credit because they just think they're all that. But the truth is, you didn't necessarily think that you were all that Aquarius for a long time. It's like there was this limbo, this like little dance trying to figure out, where do you really fit? Who are you really in a world full of puppets? Because you don't recognize yourself in any other people until you do. Some of y'all may listen. Some of y'all may have found others who resonate on a deep, deep level. But I just feel like instead of you trying to decide how to be a Rosa Parks, okay, or Angela Davis or whatever, don't think about it like that. You're not here to walk in somebody else's shoes. What you're here to do is to use the past, right, as a blueprint, but also recognizing that that blueprint is ultimately what you're building your blueprint off of. And your blueprint is what people will copy. There's a lot of deep emotion. A lot of y'all are purging right now. And listen, I don't know why it feels like it's weird. This year just feels, well, it's a 1 year. That's why it feels like that. Because I was gonna say this year feels like you're purging, yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's not in a way where you're mourning, you're just getting rid of whatever's left, that last debris. But for some of y'all, it's not even that you're purging. For some of y'all are just really sitting in this new energy where you recognize, like, damn, this really is my world. And you know what I mean when I say that? Again, no egotism here. But you recognize that you exist in a way that other people aren't meant to be included in everything that you do, Aquarius. Because if you're a steward, if you are the one that's doing it before everybody else is doing it, A lot of people are just meant to observe, and some won't even be able to be in that close proximity. Some of them may not have any proof of whatever it is that you're doing until it's done and it's out there for the people. But I see it. I see this. It's a formulation, and what you want to know is, well, what do I do? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep building. If building is what it is that you're doing. If it's not building, keep collaborating, keep bringing people together, whatever it is that you were brought here to do, because at this point there's no confusion. For those of you I'm talking to, there's no confusion anymore. You're not trying to figure out your path. You know what your path is. It's just a matter of, well, how am I going to walk my path without having any type of interference? Well, you don't got to worry about that. In fact, where focus goes, energy flows. So focus on what you're building and the path that you're walking and the road that you're paving. Because again, this is something that's never been done before. This path doesn't exist. You are crafting it as you go, technically. So why ask questions or even pay any attention to outside noise? It's outside noise that don't live within the frequency you're on. Hate to say this. No, I don't. I'm lying. Some of y'all are you're getting proven wrong, but in a good way. Like, I feel like Spirit played a lot of games, and I'm not trying to be funny. For some of us, for for those who can see, okay, for those who can see, we had a certain, I don't want to say expectation, but we just thought we knew, but we didn't know, right? Because we only had fragments of what was really gonna be. So those fragments, it's like we had put together our ideas of okay, this is what it's good. No, certain experiences that we consistently have because we're stuck in this loop, we just assume, oh, this is how it's gonna be. Okay, well, I'm not ever gonna experience this again. I don't never want to experience love again. I'll never know what true love feels like. And when I say love, it doesn't have to be romantic. Just being truly embraced by people, right? Truly appreciated by people, right? Truly seen by people, right? Some of y'all got so tired of being rejected. And when I say that, that doesn't mean, people coming out and being like, oh no, I don't, rejection for Aquarius happens in a very calculated and disgusting way. Very cruel. It's very cruel. Because people embrace us in those moments, right? And it seems like they're all for us, but ultimately they're just doing research. It's just research and development for them. And so you planned out your life according to a new path where it wasn't necessarily that you were rejecting. It was more so just you had assumed, well, this is the pattern. And a lot of us Aquarius, we pick up on patterns very easy, right? This is the pattern, so I'm going to opt out of that. Kind of putting a gate for some of y'all around your heart. And again, this is not about love. This is about protection. Because I feel like Spirit took you through certain things because you needed to be trained on how to experience disappointment and also how to not have a hardened heart because of it, right? How to still be noble in spite of it, right? And how to show up and do the right thing, not just when people are looking, but when no one is looking. That's a whole nother level of character development. And it's crazy because the way I see it here, it's like, when they throw the kids in the pool, and I'm so glad that didn't happen to me. Granted, I did almost drown. So that whew, they throw the kids in the pool so they can learn how to swim. It's kind of like what happened to a lot of y'all. You got thrown in the deep end, and then you got thrown in the deep end again, and then you got thrown in the deep end again. And you weren't learning how to love. You your love, Aquarius, it eclipses. Like your love is out of this world. So it's not about you learning how to love, it's about you learning boundaries, especially spiritual boundaries. It's about learning how to move according to your worth. It's about being very strategic and very strict about your energy. This is something that I realized. And I know that this is not everybody's, not everybody's going to resonate with this. But for me, I realized that I am very influential. And when I say that, I don't mean in an influencer type of way, right? Granted, I could be if I wanted to, but I don't. I am very compelling. My energy is very compelling. It's very persuasive. It's very seductive, right? Now, recognizing that you have to be very responsible when you have that type of energy. What do I mean when I say that? You can't just let everybody in your energy because you're going to have a bunch of crazy people. It's not funny. It's true though. It's true. It's true. When you're spiritually irresponsible, and when you're energetically irresponsible, like you're irresponsible with your energy, right? Just like I'm not trying to say it like a promiscuous person, but like you can't just be giving your shit out energetically. You can't just be letting everybody have access to you. Everybody can't be your friend. Everybody can't be your business partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously everybody damn sure can't be your romantic partner. The hell? But I had to learn because it wasn't that I was trying to be everybody's friend. No, I just assumed that everybody that presented themselves as friends to me were my friends. I just assumed that everybody that pretended to be interested in me and what I'm doing on a spiritual level, on a platonic level, that they all had good intentions. If I got good intentions, they got good intentions. Hello? I had to learn. Some of y'all had to learn. And that was why that period of isolation happened for those of you who experienced that. Some of y'all are still experiencing that because you didn't learn yet, but you're getting there. Look, 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. It's talking about, and we're not talking about Aquarius, how we release something because you know it's done. Okay, this is not gonna work out with this person. That ain't really my friend. That person betrayed me. That person lied to me. Okay, I'm out of here. Put the fence up, right? Put the wall up, a brick wall. Because even though we do that, and my bad for spilling a little bit of our tea, but if it mattered to us, I'm not talking about every scenario, but if it mattered to us, if we were devoted to it, if we were sipping the Kool-Aid, we go over that in our head obsessively until it makes sense to us. Okay, what all was a lie? What part did I miss out? When I got this intuitive download, why did I not pay attention to? We've got to figure the whole thing out. We got to make it make sense. And then when we do make it make sense, it's like, yeah, we move on, but we don't truly move on. There's a scar on our heart now because it's like, damn, okay, I got tricked, I got played, I got betrayed. And we don't move feeling defeated. We move from that spirit of, all right, cool. You did that. I'm about to go become a doctor. I'm about to go get my degree in aero science or whatever the fuck, right? Like we do some unthinkable shit because our greatest motivation is pain. You put us through something terrible, we have to go be great because of it. We are going to be great because of it. For sure. But the other aspect of that, the shadow aspect of that, right, is what we hold on to. That is why that purging is happening right now, because it's that aspects that we hold on to that we no longer have room to process anymore because we're too busy focusing on the things that we're doing to move forward. Hello? But it does still live in the spirit though. It still lives in the emotional aspect of us. Though we're very emotional beings, even though people don't want to give us credit for that or don't even really realize that about us, we're also very logical beings. We move from logic. And logically, it doesn't make sense to sit down and be crying over spilled milk, right? So we're not doing that. But our heart, it's like, damn, that's fucked up. Fucked up. I feel like Aquarius, the only option for us right now is not aesthetic. It's not about showing people that we're doing better. It's not about performing. It's about truly showing up with a steward mind, right? Like, this is some real responsible shit. This is some real self mastery shit. Like, we got to show up ready to work. And when I say that, you are not supposed to be swayed by anything that's happening on the physical front. You can't do anything about it. This is where spiritual strength really plays a role, though, because it's like, damn, okay, I see what's happening, but again, as above, so below, as above. So if you know that you are the one that literally you're manifesting the future, you are creating the future through your mind. As it takes shape in your mind, your greatest asset, Aquarius, it is also manifesting in the 3D. It is forming in the physical. And because of that, I feel like the only thing that you can focus on right now is maintaining that balance of the spiritual and the physical. You may feel like I need answers, I need to understand, but you don't. You don't. Stop paying attention to what's happening. Stay tuned into what's happening so you can know. You love information. I know we need information. But take it with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, you are the future. You are crafting it. You all on your own. So the only thing that you're meant to be doing right now is showing and proving. Showing and proving what? That freedom is real. What does freedom look like? It means disconnecting from everything that they told you must subscribe to and showing people a brand new way. Of course, everybody's not going to be on board. Of course, people are going to say all types of stuff. But clearly, they don't know what the fuck to do. What who can really tell us that they got the answers? Because if they have the answers, why they not doing nothing to make things different? Because they don't got the answers. Nobody has the answers. That's the point. The answers are, what do you want to see next? How do you feel we should all be living as humanity so that we all equally can thrive. No more hierarchy, no more performing, no more algorithms. How do you see the world moving forward? Stop focusing on, well, what about this and what about that? And stop thinking in those terms. Think in terms of, okay, well, I am here as a human. I mean, as a spirit having a human experience, right? I'm only here for a period of time. This is not a forever experience. Therefore, I must be here for a particular reason, right? A purpose, right? To make something of this experience, right? To leave the world better than I found it, right? So, in order to do that, that means that I have to think outside the old systems. I have to remove myself from the old paradigms, and I have to craft a world based on my own imagination. What? How are you going to make a world from your own imagination? You can't do that. That's crazy. Let them yap. They have no fucking clue how to make this thing better. And that is the point. Only thing that they know how to do is consume. Only thing they know how to do is perform. Only thing that they know how to do is obey, submit. But for those of us who never submitted, for those of us who always rejected, we're next. We're now. We're now. It's not a logic thing, y'all. This is really a spiritual thing. That's why they kept telling us for years, this is a spiritual warfare. This is a spiritual warfare because it's always been. Why do you think they're so disgusted by the fact that we started waking up so quickly? Because if we have access and we're aware of what they are aware of, then damn, that's when their entire constructs will crumble as they're doing now. You can live free or you can live as a slave. It's up to you. You get to decide. If you want to live free, does it come with a price? Probably. It probably does. But maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. And maybe there's somebody that was put in this world, your partner in crime. Because it's a crime to defy the system, right? It's a crime. You can't say that. You can't do that. They're going to put you. But perhaps the real tea is if you believe that something is going to happen to you, you believe that it's possible for any of these consequences built by the patriarchy is possible, then that's how you ultimately become a victim of it, right? But if you're like me, just like when COVID was happening and everybody was getting sick, and I wasn't saying, oh, COVID's not real. I just knew in my reality, it wasn't real. In my reality, it didn't exist. And this is where the law of assumption comes into the equation for real. And people for a long time thought I was bugged out, but now they're truly seeing, wait, she must have been on to something because her life has consistently went up. Now damn. I believe that whatever I believe becomes my reality. And whatever I reject, it's irrelevant. That's why I seemingly live in my own world while the world is crumbling. Because, and you can do it too, though. You can do it too. You don't have to subscribe to their reality. It's a choice thing, not a force thing. You don't have to want to be a part of whatever they're doing. And it seems impossible. That's that's what they want you to feel. They want you to feel like this is the only way. If you don't conform, you're going to perish. Or are you? Because if you are just a spirit having a human experience, none of this shit is real anyway. All of this is a simulation. Tell me I'm bugging. It really wouldn't matter because I'm going to continue living in my reality. Not delusional, not unaware of what's happening in the other realities, just at peace and completely free in mine. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. See the last little bit of what spirit wants to say. As I said, I don't miss doing this. I did at one time. I remember when I was heavy on the cards, but lately I haven't been missing pulling the cards because this is extractive too. This is extractive too, and people will exploit you if you allow them to. I remember when y'all used to be on here all the time. Tell me about what's happening in love. Who's coming towards me? And I used to be rolling my eyes in the back of my head, like, please stop it. Stop. Stop being so basic. But I got a job to do. So I'm going to do it. All right. Your greatest defense, your greatest weapon is your creativity. If you want to know how to create this, first of all, remove the idea of I'm doing this so I can build wealth. Release yourself from the desire of creating wealth. Now, you may not know why I'm saying that, but it's not for the reasons that you think, I promise. But this is not a wealth fight though. This journey is not about wealth. Some of you will gain it for sure. Some of you will gain it. You will create generational wealth. However, that generational wealth that you create is not meant to be exploited. It's not meant for performative, aesthetic purchases and things. No. This is so that you can continue to build the future. Okay. You are going to have enough wealth to pour into future generations, right? Your focus needs to be on, if you're building an empire, what does that empire serve? How does it serve the people? And how does it have longevity? What does sustainability look like for whatever it is that you're building? You also need knowledge. For some of you, you will face experiences that, in a way, they challenge your belief of, safety, of sovereignty, because it's, again, a spiritual warfare happening, right? Dark against light, right? What does the dark want? The dark wants you to believe that this new earth is not possible. But the light, and it's a lot of warriors in the light, okay? We're not talking about fragile, Peaches and rainbows. We talking about some, listen, we talking about some ruthless ass mother, are in the lights. But also, don't get it twisted. They one of them ones. Okay? They got your back. You're gonna face experiences that you may have to fight. And when I say fight, I don't mean physically. I mean spiritually. You may have to fight. You may have to be in experiences where it's a battle of the mind. It's a battle of the wits. You know, and you may have to be equipped with the knowledge of these systems, right? Legally, scientifically, even, because how are you going to go up against something that you don't fully understand? You can't defeat something that you don't understand. But you're one of the ones that was appointed to do this thing. Whatever it is that you know you were brought here to do, the only thing that you can do now that will ensure that we truly see change, you got to be 10 toes down. You got to be solid as a fucking rock. But I promise you, people are going to join you. This is not a solo fight. And for some of you, your period of solitude is over. You're attracting the people that are your people that are going to fight alongside you. And again, the fighting isn't physical. And if it is, but you got this though. I don't see any indication here that makes me feel like you're not going to accomplish what you know you need to accomplish, what you've been feeling in your spirit, that you've been in preparation for. All this character development for what? For this. This is the moment. But you're good. You know what to do. You know how to do it. You know when to do it. And the only thing that you can do right now is stay tapped in. Keep your frequency high. Maintain your rituals. Listen, do not lose touch with your spiritual practice, okay? You got this. The world is crumbling while you stand tall. Why do you think that is? Because you've been appointed. And I'm standing with you. I'm only smiling because I know how it ends. And it's better than you expected. Last message. The moon card. You know how at nighttime, Aquarius, you feel more alive and more, just the night feels more invigorating. I know this is not going to sound weird to you, but spirits are making contact with you in the wee hours of the night. Now more than ever, you need to be paying attention. You need to be listening. Okay. There are spirits, ascended masters, and ancestors that are here to join you but you have to allow them in. You can't, just expect them to be like, all right, let me come on in. You gotta invite them in. You gotta create space for them to come in, right? Your space can't be a mess, okay? Your mind can't be a mess. You have to have total clarity, and you have to have an environment that is conducive to allowing the highest of the high to participate in this experience with you. Okay? But you got this. We got this. All right. I'm out of here. Happy solar return, Aquarius. It's going to be a real good year. I don't know why I keep hearing this, but it's like people are, it's like, woo! I don't know if it's like a ceremony or a celebration, or I just heard coronation. Something relevant to what you thought could never happen, what you thought would be like a forever process. Something feels like it was a long time coming. You know, it took you a long time to get here. It took you a lot to get here, a lot of shedding. Some of you came here and had to process past life trauma. Some of you came here to unlock something. Some of you came here with a vengeance. Some of you came here to avenge either your death or somebody else's death. I don't know. It's getting loud in here. Whew. I keep hearing like there's clapping though. It's like multiple people. It's like a large room of people. You have an audience. Like finally, for some of you, you're becoming visible now. This could even be like visible online, right? But you're getting recognition for what you've done behind the scenes, what you've done behind closed doors. You're getting applause, and you're getting what you deserve. And there's also something about your, some of y'all looking into your DNA. You need to look into being like the difference between being a U.S. citizen and a U.S. national. There is a difference. I'm not gonna tell you one way or the other because I'm not here to sway you, but I want you to look into it, do your own research, right? But there's something that you need to know about your DNA, your ancestry. For some of you, this does have something to do specifically with your roots. Um, for some of you, you never felt like a race, you never felt like a color. You may have felt disconnected um, from your heritage. Grandmothers are very significant, like your grandmothers. I talked about this several times. I know I've had several streams of consciousness where we were talking about like your mom isn't your mom or your dad isn't your dad, especially over on Divine Disruption channel. I remember we talked about it a lot. At one period, I'm like, I'm looking at the cards like, are you trying to tell me something? something about water spirits, mommy water even. Like I don't know why I'm not ending the stream, but my head feels like it's gonna burst. Like my temples are pulsating real bad, and something like stopped me from stopping the stream. So um, I'm I'm just doing what I'm told. But yeah, there is something about water, water spirits, and you also need to drink more water. Shoot, I got mine right here. Okay. Oh, bath, submerging in water, cleansing. And try not to get distracted by what's happening in the physical. There's a truth being uncovered. It doesn't feel like anything like sad. Like you're not going to be crying, and it could be something that like typically people would be sad about, but it doesn't feel like something that you're going to be sad about. It feels like something that you're going to be happy about. Like it puts you on a different path, or it puts you give you a different perspective, or something of that nature. Clarity, clear sentence, something about being able to see, having clarity on what you see. Maybe you felt like certain things were illusions, but there's a lot of disillusionment right now. Yeah. Somebody's like somebody again, a grandmother, a great grandmother. But this is like your mom's mom though. This is weird though. How is this coming through? Okay, so your mom's mom, maybe she visited you in your dream, maybe she will visit you in your dream. um I don't know, I feel like my head is gonna burst, so I don't want to. I'm about to tap out. His water though, I keep getting water. mm, that's where the clarity comes. So you'll get the clarity in water. Somebody that was there are people that are coming into union, and not in that cliche, the love of your life is coming. I'm not talking that shit at all, but also I'm talking that shit because I know what I'm talking about. It is not this transcends your scope of understanding. You can't, no, you can't grasp this because this is gonna blow your mind. I just heard somebody say this is gonna blow your fucking mind, but I was trying to, I've been doing good not cussing so much lately. But your grandmother orchestrated something for you in order for you to move forward. So it feels like something that you made a determination about, like you said, well, this is just how this is gonna be. But your grandmother specifically is proving you wrong. I said that earlier about you being proven wrong. Um, so I must be speaking to somebody specific because this does feel like a very specific person. Um, I just feel like your faith is being restored. Your faith in in love. And that doesn't, again, get reduced to romance. That's love is love, but like love is the cheat code too, right? So yeah. Okay. All right. I'm outie 5,000.